What's up, Lions Nation? The moment has arrived. The Lions are on their bye week, but the fire is still burning. After battling week after week, this team has proven it's built to last. This isn't just a break, it's a strategic pause, because when they come back, that's when the real chase for the top begins. And if you believe this is the year Detroit shows the world who runs the NFC, smash that like button. It really helps the channel. I want to hear from you in the comments. What excites you the most for this next stretch? The injured players returning? The chemistry building? Or finally seeing the league give this team the respect it deserves? So buckle up, Lions fans, because this break is just the calm before the next storm. The Lions are ready to roar louder than ever. Go Lions, I believe. The Detroit Lions are sitting at 5-2 heading into the bye week, and for the first time in a long time, it truly feels like this team is built for the long run. Dan Campbell said it best when he told reporters, "You just focus on the moment you're in." He's not one for distractions, and this week, that means letting his team breathe, heal, and prepare for the stretch that will define the season. This isn't just any bye week, it's perfectly timed. The Lions have fought through injuries, tough games, and adversity, and now, the reinforcements are finally coming. The list of players returning after the bye is massive. Kirby Joseph, DJ Reed, Zach Cunningham, and Marcus Davenport are all expected back. Terry and Arnold too. Even Shane Zylstra is set to return on offense. And while some, like Rakestraw and Dan Jackson, will still be out, the overall picture couldn't look better. Compared to last year, when Detroit limped into the playoffs with half its starters banged up, this feels like a complete reversal. The Lions are getting healthy right when it matters most, right before the toughest stretch of divisional games. Campbell mentioned it himself, 10 games to go, and then it's playoff time. You can feel the shift in the energy around Allen Park. Players know what's at stake. They've been through the fire and learned what it takes to compete at the highest level. Last year's heartbreak in January taught them something valuable, that potential means nothing without execution. And now, this team doesn't just want to compete, it wants to dominate. The next test will be against the Vikings at home, and with so many key pieces returning, Detroit looks ready to make a serious run. When you look at the playoff picture, things are starting to take shape. The Green Bay Packers might be leading the NFC North for now at 4-1-1. But they haven't looked convincing. They barely escaped against the Cardinals, and the rest of their schedule doesn't get easier. Meanwhile, San Francisco is banged up. Nick Bosa is out, their linebacker depth is shaken, and the NFC West is going to beat itself up all year long. The Eagles? They're strong, no doubt, but the Lions already proved they can handle top NFC teams after what they did to Tampa Bay. Seattle and Los Angeles will fight for playoff spots, but that's out west. Over in the north, the path is open for Detroit to take control. That's what makes this moment so intriguing. The Lions aren't chasing anyone anymore. They're dictating the pace. The rest of the division has to play this weekend, while Detroit gets to rest and recover. Every team in the NFC North is looking up at them, knowing the Lions are lurking, healthier, hungrier, and more confident than ever. You can almost sense it. The swagger's back in Detroit, and that's showing up in the power rankings too. Across the national outlets, the Lions are being taken seriously. Finally, NFL.com had them move up to number 1. ESPN placed them at the top after climbing from number 2. The Athletic bumped them up 5 spots. Even CBS Sports and Sports Illustrated have them sitting comfortably in the top 3. It's crazy how quickly the national conversation changes. One week you're the best team in football, and the next, a single loss drops you outside the top 10. But that's the nature of it. It's about consistency, not hype. Dan Campbell knows it, the players know it, and the fans definitely know it. There's no need for validation anymore. This team has earned its respect. They're a top 3 team in the NFL right now, and they've done it with grit, physicality, and discipline. But as Campbell always reminds his guys, the job isn't done. The goal isn't to look good in October, it's to still be playing in January. And yet, there's another storyline bubbling beneath all of this, the trade deadline. It's that time again, and Detroit's front office has decisions to make. With the team poised for a playoff push, rumors are heating up fast. One name that keeps coming up is Arden Key. CBS's Jonathan Jones mentioned that the Lions have been keeping an eye on him, and it makes sense. Detroit showed interest in Key during the pre-draft process, and now that he's on the Titans with a manageable $9.3 million cap hit, a deal could be realistic. A trade for Key wouldn't cost much, maybe a 5th or 6th round pick, and the fit seems perfect. He's the kind of versatile edge rusher who could open things up for the rest of Detroit's defensive front. Imagine a rotation that includes Key, Marcus Davenport, Muhammad, and Josh Pascal. That's the kind of depth that separates playoff teams from true contenders. And considering how Campbell and Brad Holmes operate, this wouldn't be a flashy move. It would be a smart one. Low cost, high impact. The question is, will they pull the trigger? The Lions have the draft capital to make it happen, and with a top 3 defense already taking shape, an addition like this could push them over the edge. Power rankings would explode if Detroit made a move like that, maybe even pushing them to the number 1 spot across every outlet. If the Lions decide to make a move before the deadline, it wouldn't just send a message to the rest of the league, it would send one to the locker room. It would tell every player in that building that this front office believes in them, believes that this is their year. And honestly, that kind of confidence can change everything. The culture Dan Campbell has built is based on accountability, toughness, and trust. Making a smart trade for a player like Arden Key or another young edge rusher would fit perfectly within that identity. It's not about desperation. It's about finishing what they started. Mike Payton from A to Z Sports threw out another intriguing name, Jalen Phillips. He called him the best edge rusher available right now. And when you look at his profile, it's hard to argue. A former first-round pick, just 26 years old, and still ascending. Pairing him opposite Aiden Hutchinson could create one of the most dangerous pass-rushing duos in the NFC. The idea is simple. Build something that lasts, not just a short-term fix. Holmes and Campbell have been building for sustainability since day one, and a move like this, for a young, controllable player with upside, fits that blueprint perfectly. The cost for a trade like that wouldn't be steep either. Payton suggested a 4th-round pick could get it done, or perhaps a package deal, something like Josh Pascal and a 6th-rounder for Phillips. Either way, the Lions wouldn't have to mortgage the future to strengthen the present, and that's where this front office excels. They never panic. Every move feels intentional, calculated, and aligned with the long-term vision. If Detroit were to pull off either of these trades, for Key, Phillips, or someone similar, the ripple effect would be massive. You'd have depth, competition, and flexibility across the defensive line. Hutchinson wouldn't have to carry the pass rush alone anymore. Davenport could rotate freely. Cunningham's return adds stability to the second level. Suddenly, a defense that's already near the top in pressure rate could become downright terrifying. And imagine what that would do for the rest of the team. Jared Goff would get more possessions. The run game could control tempo. The secondary, already getting healthier with Kirby Joseph and Terrion Arnold returning, would benefit from quicker pressure up front. It all ties together. That's how championship rosters are built. By layers, by timing, by execution. This is what makes the current state of the Lions so fascinating. For the first time in decades, Detroit isn't playing catch-up. They're not rebuilding. They're refining. They're one of the few teams in the NFL that can look at the rest of their schedule and realistically believe they can win every single matchup left on it. The fans feel it. The players know it. And Dan Campbell's message echoes louder than ever. Finish strong. What's different this year isn't just talent. It's mindset. When Campbell talks about cutting it loose, it's not just coach speak. You can see it on the field. Every snap, every hit, every block has purpose. These players trust each other in ways we haven't seen from a Lions team in a very long time. And that trust is what makes them dangerous. So as the bye week wraps up and the Lions prepare to face the Vikings, all eyes turn to Brad Holmes. Will he make a move to strengthen this already dangerous defense? Or will he trust that the current group, finally healthy, is enough to carry Detroit deep into January? One thing's for sure, this fan base has never been more locked in. The city can feel it. Ford Field has turned into a fortress, the locker room has turned into a brotherhood, and the rest of the league is finally starting to recognize what's been building in Detroit for years. This isn't just hype anymore. This is real. So tell me, Lions fans, if you were Brad Holmes, what would you do? Would you swing big before the deadline, or ride with the squad that got you here? Drop your thoughts below. And if you love seeing this team fight week after week, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned. More Lions coverage is on the way. The next video is already on your screen. Because let's be honest, these moments don't come around often for Detroit. For years, fans have watched other franchises dominate the headlines, make bold trades, take those championship swings. But now, the Lions are that team, the one with real leverage, real respect, and real power in the NFC. Every contender in the conference knows it too. They can feel Detroit breathing down their necks. That's what happens when you build a team that hits, runs, and fights the way this one does. The bye week couldn't have arrived at a better time. 10 games left, and each one is part of a greater mission. You can hear it in Campbell's tone. This isn't about hype. It's about execution. The roster is coming together. The energy is refocusing. And mentally, this squad is sharper than ever. The veterans are leading with poise, and the young guys are buying in completely. Players like Aiden Hutchinson, Alan McNeil, and Brian Branch represent the future, but it's the collective effort, from offense to defense to special teams, that makes this team feel different. And that's exactly why fans should feel confident about what's ahead. The Lions have already proven they can handle adversity. They've played through injuries, fought through ugly games, and still found ways to win. They've built a reputation on resilience, on the idea that no matter what happens, they'll find a way to respond. That's what defines great teams in the NFL, and right now, that's exactly what Detroit is becoming. The national media might just be starting to catch on, but the fans already know the truth. The foundation that Campbell and Holmes built wasn't made for one hot season, it was made to last. The team's identity is strong, its chemistry is real, and its goals are crystal clear. Whether or not a trade happens, the Lions have already positioned themselves as legitimate contenders. But imagine the statement if they add one more piece, a move that says, "We're not satisfied yet." That's what makes this moment so special for Detroit. You can feel the shift in the air, the excitement, the belief, the unity between the fans and the team. The roar is back, and it's echoing louder than ever across the league. So, Lions fans, I'll leave you with this. The bye week is over, the second half of the season is here, and the real test begins now. Every decision from here on out, every snap, every trade, every play, will shape the story of this season. The question is, will this be the year the Lions finally complete the climb? If you believe it's time, show it, drop a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around, because we're just getting started. Detroit's run is far from over, and the next video is already waiting for you. And as the team gears up for that final stretch, you can sense that the Lions are no longer the hunters, they're becoming the hunted. Every opponent left on the schedule knows that beating Detroit means something now. It's not a routine game anymore, it's a statement opportunity. But the difference this time is that the Lions are built to handle that pressure. They've been through too much, overcome too many challenges, and developed too much toughness to back down now. Dan Campbell has molded this team in his own image, gritty, fearless, relentless. His voice